we put on the website, you put on the consultation form, we start recording consultations, Zoom sessions, and training sessions.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just read over his consultation. Makes you comfortable. And it seems like just general obedience and not the occasional, like it seems like he knows probably have excitement or something.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
And then I saw, of course, his paw.
Yeah, full deformed.
Yeah. Does it affect him at all, or is he?
I've been to a couple vets and they've said no. I don't, he doesn't like cry or anything like that.
Sure.
When I don't take him on walks, I have like a roof deck, so I just put him up there. So I don't know. I think he's fine.
Okay. So in terms of like the obedience or like the listening stuff, like what is your goals? What are you trying to achieve here?
Yeah. So I just like a nip out of excitement. He like doesn't come when I call his name. He knows his name, but he won't come to me.
Okay.
And he jumps.
Gotcha.
Which, like, I personally don't care if he does it to me, but...
Yeah, with other people?
Yeah, with other people.
And because of his paw here, like I said, I see him from on the roof deck.
Yeah.
I mean, would he get walks or?
Yeah, I mean, like, when I used to live in Lincoln Park, which is when I heard about you, I used to take walks all the time, but honestly, we would walk 10 feet, he would lay down, and then we would get up, and then, so.
And was that in response to his paw, or do you think just because he was hot, or?
I truly think he's just really lazy. Like,
Gotcha.
He sleeps all day.
Gotcha. How old is this guy?
He just turned 1 in December.
Oh, so he's young.
Yeah, he's a puppy.
And how long have you had it for?
Since June. I got him in paws.
Gotcha. So June. So you live with 4 months?
He was 6 months.
He was 6 months?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And then how did you hear about us?
Well, everyone in the park. Like, I used to live right by Mount, Sweet Mandy Bees. Everyone used to.
Oh, sure. Over by Travis.
Yeah,
Travis.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
Luna and, what's her name? They all have similar names. The Golden Retriever, she was like 6 months right when she got.
Oh, Winnie?
Winnie, yes.
And then there's the other Winnie, the chocolate lab.
Yes.
And then there's Nash.
I was like, you need to go. And then I was just like, I wanted to see how he was because I really didn't have him for that long. But
Sure.
now I'm just like, okay, he's a year. Like, we need to get some sort of training just so that he listens to me when I call him.
Sure. And when you're having to call him, is this like off of the roof deck or is this like just
Anywhere, like off the roof deck. When I was living with my parents before I bought my place, but they have a pool and obviously it was covered all white because of the snow. And when we would tell him to get off like the ledge, he like wouldn't listen. And then we try to get him to like runs. He thinks it's just like all a game, but yeah.
Sure.
I mean, like, he won't come if I call him.
Gotcha. And have you done any training yourself?
I mean, like, not really. Like, when I say his name, I'll say like good boy, so he like recognizes it.
But no real formal like.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Not even like positive or treat stuff.
Oh, I mean, like, yeah, but nothing like let's learn how to sit. Like, no.
Okay.
Nothing like that.
Okay. And what would his life look like?
What do you mean?
Yeah, like so, like let's say you got him trained and stuff,
Yeah.
right? Would it be like, oh yeah, we walk all the time, we go to the dog parks,
He's really, really good with dogs. Like, really, really good with dogs. I just like want if I go upstairs on the roof deck and I call his name, I want him to come in. Like, I don't want to be up there for 40 minutes, him just fucking around up there.
Sure.
You know, I'm like not coming.
Sure.
So that's basically it. And like him stop nipping me. Like, I have bruises all over my body.
Gotcha. When is the nipping? When does his nipping happen?
Right after he eats, I think he just gets excited, and then I'll just be like on my computer, and he'll come up to me and like nip my butt, and like I think maybe he just wants to play. I don't know, but
And he's done that ever since he was a pup, or?
yeah, since I've gotten him,
Okay.
He's done it.
Okay.
It comes and goes. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, we broke through, and like he doesn't do it, and then like the next day
He does it.
He'll do it. So.
And I'm assuming you've done or have tried anything to try to correct that.
I mean, I'll be like, stop, which is probably not the greatest thing to do.
Not,
so, like,
not dog terms,
Yeah, so I don't know how to like fix that. What I would also do is I would get up and get a toy and try to distract him from not doing it. That seems to work. It's a painting.
Yeah, little dog, buddy.
It's a painting.
sure the artist is flattered. Okay.
I know. Good boy. Yeah, just like basic stuff. Like I want to be able to leave it at my parents' place and like him come when they call him and
Okay.
not nip my mom when she's laying on the couch.
Okay, so he nips others as well.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And not like other people, I would say. Like if I have people over, he doesn't do it. I think it's like if he knows you.
And he's comfortable.
He's comfortable with you, then he'll do it.
Sure. Is he always acting like this typically?
Yeah.
Okay. You ever notice like any anxious behavior from him?
No.
No? What about the whining?
No, never.
No.
It's only like when he sees a dog and wants to play.
Sure.
That's it.
Okay.
Never like, if I leave, when I'm walking down the stairs, I can hear him crying. He will just sleep. Actually, the panting, I would probably say that's not true. He doesn't pant all the time.
Okay. I'm just trying to, because with these fluffier guys, like for us, like this might be comfortable, but for him it can be hot.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to determine if this is more so just like him because he's warm or because like he's getting anxious.
Yeah.
Because he was crying a little bit, nothing like too bad.
Okay.
But just trying to get a feel for if he's more of an anxious energy.
Okay.
Which, I mean, if he was, like he'd be having other issues.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, he's super calm. Like, when I live with him, I don't know, maybe because he's comfortable with me now, but.
Sure.
I mean, never at my parents' house either. Like, I can walk out the door, he'll just look at me, and then he'll walk to my back door, and he'll just lay there until
Gotcha.
I come back.
Okay. In regards to like his exercise and stuff, because you said like you walk him and he walks 10 feet and stop,
Yeah.
and then that's just like laziness, you think?
Yeah, I truly think so. Like, I truly think he's just lazy. Like, I'll throw a tennis ball, he'll play with that. Like, I just think he does what he wants, and that's that.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm just trying to get a feel for.
Yeah. I'm worried you're gonna say he's not trainable.
No, he's trainable. He's absolutely trainable. But I think where there might be like a bit of a, I don't know how to mean, like of a gap or whatever, is, you know, so we train using remote collar.
Yeah.
All the dogs, Luna, Winnie, both Winnies, Nash, Shadow, Roxy, Penny. There's a bunch of dogs that I've trained.
Oh, Penny, yeah, I know Penny.
Yeah.
Norris loved her.
So that I've trained, they're all done on remote collar,
Okay.
because remote collar gives you the most reliable obedience, right?
Mhm.
But it really only applies if he's going to be out doing stuff.
Oh,
Not saying that you can't train him for the rooftop, but in my mind I'm going like, well, that seems like a bit much just to get him to come back on the
okay.
roof. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
yeah.
So that's what I was asking, what, you know, so like let's say if he goes to the dog park, and you're like, yeah, he's going to go to the dog park, I have to chase him around.
Probably.
Like
I
that.
would probably have to do that.
Yeah, so if dog parks are in his future,
Mhm.
then they go, yes, because now there's gonna be more things that we're gonna have distractions.
Yeah.
It makes more sense. So the behavior stuff is actually the easier thing to
Okay.
fix, okay?
Yeah.
Because when it comes to, no.
I will say when we used to go to Norris, when I used to go to that park, I would let him off leash because I was just very ballsy with it, and I was like, he runs, he runs.
Sure.
He never ran off, but I would call him and he would never come. So I was like a helicopter parent. Like I was like following him around.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't want him to dart off into Webster.
Correct.
So.
Okay, so that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
Because with remote collar, like you wouldn't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Because one, dogs tend to naturally stay with, after you've done that formal training,
Mhm.
they naturally tend to stay within a radius of the owner.
Okay.
But also, like, let's say he were to be going a bit too far, and you didn't want him to do that, you can use the collar to essentially correct him. Oh, it's my another dog. Is you could correct him so that he didn't run or anything like that.
I know you're so worried. You're so concerned.
So for that stuff to happen, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So with remote collar, are you familiar with what the technology is?
No, not really.
So have you ever been to a chiropractor or physical therapist? Have you ever seen commercials for like the you put on your stomach and it like works
Yeah.
or make that you can get abs or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what's called a TENS unit,
Okay.
T-E-N-S. So they obviously use that technology on humans.
Okay.
When people think of e-collar, they usually think, oh, like you're electrocuting your dog, or you're like, you know, it's like sticking the finger in the outlet, or like the electric chair.
Yeah.
It's not the case at all.
Okay.
It's electric, but not electricity is how I explain it.
Okay.
So for humans, either if you went to a chiropractor or a physical therapist, they put these like little nodes on the muscle
Yeah.
that have wires, and there's a small or a slight current that moves and stimulates the muscles to either break up scar tissue, to build muscle strength, or to ease pain, muscle pain. You can even go to like CVS or Walgreens, and if you look in the back section, you'll see what's called the TENS unit, TENS, right? And it's like a little bone, and you put on your back, and it moves your back muscles to help relax the muscles and all that stuff. So it's the same technology. It's just a muscle stimulator. And the reason why I train all my dogs, or at least all our dogs over 6 months on that tool, is because it gives off-leash control. In my opinion, it's the only tool that can guarantee off-leash control. Because if you're using food and he's playing with his dog friends and that's more rewarding, he's not going to care about the food. If we use either a prong collar or a gentle leader, which is the spiky looking collar, or the one that goes around the mouth, well, a guy that's fluffy, probably not going to be fazed by the prong collar because it's just so dense. But also just in a lot of cases, since dogs are physical animals and they bite each other, even when humans correct their dogs with a prong collar, the dog tends to toughen up to it because it's like they bite each other. Nothing's gonna mimic the dog bite, the gentle leader is nice, you know, it goes around the mouth and stuff. The only problem is when you remove the leash, we no longer have connection. So he learns like, oh, you took the leash off. So you can't make me come back. Right. So that's where these tools fall short. So remote collar on or off leash doesn't matter. I have means of control over the dog. Okay. In your, this is like a super simple, in my opinion, case here, is it doesn't sound like you need much.
No, I really don't. I'm not, that's a person like, again, yes.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a couple of options. Now I will say, you know, drawback with remote collar in a dog like this is because his fur is so
thick. That's what my dad said. He's like, it's not gonna work. I don't know.
So they make special adapters so that we can get through this thicker coat. But what you're gonna, in the beginning, it's gonna be a process until you figure out what works. Okay. So I have 2 Huskies right now. I've worked with plenty of German Shepherds. I've worked with Samoyeds before and all that stuff. So there are special adapters, and then once you get used to it, you just get a feel for it. Okay. So we would provide you with information on that, and then it's really just learning how to make it work. So with this guy, we can do one of 2 things, because your main concern really is just a recall and correcting the nipping or biting. Am I correct?
And like sometimes jumping, like my mom needs it, but like.
Okay.
So like 3 things. If he can do all 3 of those, I'll be happy as a clown.
Okay. So the nipping and jumping and stuff is, I'm not even worried about it. Okay, but that's actually an easy fix. And that's with and without e-collar. Okay. You would be in the 3 to 6 class range. Okay. So I have 3, 6, and 9, 12-week programs. Typically, the 3-week program is meant for people who are struggling with leash reactivity, which is lunching and barking in dogs. So it's 2 classes on how to walk on a leash, and then another class, just in case they're still struggling with something, we have another class to kind of cover that, okay? What we could do is teach what you would need in terms of, the leash walking.
He's such a
we would probably just condense that down to a class, okay? Because that has to happen in order to get to recall. Okay? So I would teach you just what you need to know for the leash walking stuff. And then from there, the next 2 classes, you would do the recall. Okay, so that's if we did 3. Because stopping the behaviors of jumping and nipping, pretty straightforward. Okay. If you did the 6 classes, what we would do is 2 classes on leash walking, 2 classes on recall, which then leaves 2 classes to teach.
I don't think so, bud.
Come here, buddy.
Come here, Norris.
Sometimes it gets too warm in here, so just let me know.
There you go, Norris.
So if you did 6, you have a bit more wiggle room. The only way I would see you needing potentially 6 is if you're just needing help on how to figure out how to get connection,
Okay.
right? Because it's a little bit of a process of like learning how to configure it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Not that I would take a class to teach that, but it's more like you come back and like, hey Jesse, like I'm still having issues, and then just do other things.
Yeah.
We also can teach stationary control, most likely.
Okay, like, is that like stay? Like,
Yeah,
okay.
like go to your bed and don't move for the next 2 hours, kind
Okay.
of thing, okay? So if you want to get him out the way and like just get some peace from him or whatever,
Mhm.
we can cover that in 6 classes as well. So the 6 kind of gives you a little bit more of a window
Okay.
to do more stuff. If you're really just caring about recall, then you can do the 3.
Mhm.
Again, I would just condense the leash walking because he has to learn. In order to learn what e-collar is, we do the leash walking always,
Okay.
and then from there we can teach whatever else.
Okay.
So that's me kind of just like bare bonesing it,
Okay.
just because it's a fairly simple, like what you're wanting is pretty simple.
Okay.
Now when it comes to teaching the stuff, everything is verbal instruction. So
Okay.
like you show up and then I would coach you through everything.
Okay.
You have the collar on, you're doing the training,
Mhm.
and it's all hands-on, but you're doing all the hands-on stuff.
Right.
Okay, so you learn more.
Right.
And then like for the recall, it's typically a 2-person exercise, so I would jump in and help you
Okay.
there. But I'm still coaching you through all the stuff.
Right.
Now recall does tend to take people the longest to teach.
Okay.
Okay, so leash walking tends to be the fastest because most people walk their dog multiple times a day.
Yep.
Recall requires you to go somewhere.
Right.
You have to go to the park, whether it be Travis or you go to the Lincoln Park on the lakefront, whatever. And you have to practice around realistic things like squirrels and rabbits and dogs and people
Yeah.
and bikers or whatever.
Yeah.
Or you go to Oz Park to practice. So if you're going to the park every day to practice,
Mhm.
you're going to get there quicker.
Right.
Okay, if you go once a week, you'll get there, but it's going to just take you a lot longer.
Right.
Okay. Now stuff like doing recall on the roof
Yeah.
would be easier
Right.
because it's just the roof.
Right.
Right. But if you're outside and he's playing with his dog friends and stuff, that's going to be a little bit of a process.
Right.
Okay. So just so you're aware that at the end of the 3 or 6 week program, like he's not going to be fully like off leash reliable with the recall.
Mhm.
You'll just have all the information, and it's of course do your homework to
Yeah.
build to it. Okay.
Right.
So like I think Nash only did 6 classes, and Melissa would chase Nash around trucks because he would never come back to her
Yeah.
for like 30 minutes, and then now she can just take him and call him and just comes back.
Right.
So they only had the 6, but of course they live right across the street from Travis, so it's it's very easy for them to just practice there.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. So, in regards to the collar he'd need, I would advise you put him on the big boy collar because since he's got such a dense coat, you want more output in order to get through the coat. But then also, how much does this guy weigh?
75 pounds.
75 pounds, yeah. It's meant for 70-pound dogs and over.
Okay.
Okay, so it would be the big boy collar with the adapter to make sure we get more consistent contact.
Mhm.
And then as long as all that's going good, there really shouldn't be any issues, okay? That's the only thing I can say, like looking at it, is like, yeah, this guy's coat's so long
Right.
and it's so dense that in the beginning it's a little bit of a pain in the butt until you figure out what works, and then it's pretty easy,
Okay.
Now, do you have any questions?
No. I mean, where would I get that?
On
Have you-
Amazon.
Oh,
Yeah, Amazon. Maria would send you an email, and she'd give you a breakdown.
Okay.
And then she'd say, here's the collar Jesse recommended.
Okay.
And then I provide you with the link for the adapter.
Got it.
I most likely, when I provide the link, will say like, give them a call just in case, to tell them like, hey, I have a, Pyreneese mix.
Yeah.
And, this is what my trainer recommended. What do you think? And then they'd be able to help you a little bit more.
Okay.
But I already recommended that same collar to 2 other clients because they have the same thing.
Yeah.
But theirs are little dogs
Okay.
with dense coats.
Got it.
So, let me think here. In regards to like, the most common question I get is like, when does the e-collar go away?
Mhm.
Is when you need it, it doesn't. Okay, so you drive,
Yes.
you go on the expressway,
Yes.
do you go the speed limit?
No.
Okay, so when you see a squad car, what happens?
I slow down.
You slow down, right? Almost everybody does not go the speed limit,
Yeah.
right? But whenever we see a squad car, we of course slow down.
Right.
So it's called opportunistic behavior. Okay, all animals do it.
Mhm.
It's part of survival instinct. So for Norris,
Yes.
for Norris here, think of that e-collar as a cop on a collar.
Uh-huh.
When he has it on, he's going to be more well behaved, right? Because he knows, okay, there's still a consequence.
Yeah.
The cop is here,
Yeah.
right? And then when you remove it, he knows he can get away with more stuff.
Right.
So It's nothing to do with the training methods, it's nothing to do with my skills as a trainer.
Yeah.
It's just the way of the world, okay?
Yeah.
If not even humans, and we know better,
Right.
Obey the laws to the
Right.
degree that they're supposed to be obeyed. So same thing for dogs, okay? So if he's gonna go out to play with his friends at the dog park, if he's gonna go for a walk, or if you're gonna take him to a restaurant and want to just like chill out for a bit,
Yeah.
if we talk more stuff, he has his collar on. It doesn't mean that you're always using it.
Okay.
It simply means that it's present, and because it's present, he's gonna alter his behavior.
Right.
Now, the other thing is, I don't like not knowing that I don't have control, or knowing I don't have control,
Mhm.
because in case an emergency happens,
Right.
right? Because like life happens.
Right.
I've had people's dogs run away because of fireworks. I had someone's dog come across a coyote. I had one of the dogs over at Trebs actually took off after a rabbit during the play group.
Yeah.
Same dog got in a dog fight over a ball.
Okay.
Was that dog and another dog went after a ball at the same time, and it blew up into a fight. And the owner was able to get her out with the e-collar immediately,
Right.
without there being an escalation in the fight.
Right.
So things can always happen. So it's nice to know, like, okay, if we're out, it's okay. I always have a means of control.
Right.
Okay. Now, a lot of stuff through the discipline can go away. So, for example, like the nipping and stuff is most likely like frustration,
Okay.
where he's getting bored and he's like, hey, play with me, right? Now, we can absolutely correct that. It's possible that with just the discipline from the collar, meaning, being the contraction and everything, and learning what consequences, that stuff may go away.
Okay.
Okay, the jumping is different because the jumping is coming out of excitement,
Okay.
and that would be something that we just correct.
Yeah.
But the nipping might actually go away. In terms of, like, I know you say like he's lazy and stuff, but what does his exercise look like?
Nothing really.
Nothing.
Like I'll just like throw, like every day I try to like just like play catch with them.
Gotcha.
Like when I'm in between client calls and stuff like that. So,
Okay, you work from home?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have a treadmill?
No.
No? Okay. Because one thing could be the frustration come from just lack of formal exercise.
Okay.
So throwing the ball is like excitement and play and stuff.
Yeah.
But going for a 30-minute walk 2 times a day, or an hour walk 1 time a day, or 3 20-minute walks is structured exercise. Okay. And my recommendation for anyone with a dog is at least an hour a day. Which even for a lot of dogs, that's still not enough, because they're not meant to be inside a home all day. They're meant to be like outside and like hunting and doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
But at least an hour a day can also help with that frustration that he's displaying. Okay. So it's kind of like, yes, we correct him if he does it, but at the same time, he has needs that would need to be fulfilled as well.
Yep.
And that would be it. Of course, when you can walk them, you walk them, and then when you can't walk them, there's other means of exercise, like throwing the ball or whatever. Okay. Questions on any of that stuff?
No, I mean like when I lived in Lincoln Park, I would walk him 4 times a day, and like the walks would be an hour long. The
Oh, nice.
majority of the time would be him laying up the corner. So, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's just like not a dog walker, but like he loves to just like lay and sit outside.
Sure. Well, I mean, that's what Pyreneese do.
Yeah, so.
It's like they just be on the farm, they lay and they just watch.
Yeah, and that's what he does.
Yeah. And his coat as well, it can help kind of multiply the exercise, because like especially if it's during the summer or so when it's warmer, like the heat really kind of like just wears them out. So like a 20-minute walk could feel like an hour to him.
Right.
So so you can use that to your advantage. So you have either one of those options, the 3 to 6 week. It just comes down to whether or not you want to give yourself a window and then be able to achieve a little more, or you're just like, yeah, let's just focus on the recall and the behavior stuff, and that's it. Okay. Any other questions?
No.
I'm trying to think if I left out anything. That's pretty much it. Okay.
Yeah.
If anything pops up, you let us know. I'll talk to Maria. She'll follow up with you, and of course, with the fee paid for the consultation would get credited towards your program. And then you pick and choose what you want to do. Just so that you know, if you did 3, I think 3 classes is like $550 or something.
Right.
And 6 classes is $950. If you did 3 and decided like I want to do another 3,
can I do like 3 and we have the cost like for now. I don't, this is not working. Can I extend on to the 6th?
You can, but it would be another $550.
Okay.
So you would pay the rate, right? So when someone commits up front, they go, yeah, give me 6.
Yeah.
It's a cheaper per class rate.
Right.
If they do 3 or 6 and another 3 or 6, whatever, then they just pay whatever the program rate is.
Okay.
We used to prorate it, but because of COVID last year, lost so much money that I was like, I have to recoup somehow.
Yeah.
So, but it's completely up to you. I mean, this seems pretty straightforward. Behaviorally, I mean, I think you got a good dog. I think you got a lazy dog.
This is how he usually is.
Yeah.
Just like.
The only thing I see that's gonna probably be an issue is just because he's got just a thick coat of fur.
Yeah.
Is in the beginning it's gonna be a little bit of a nuisance trying to figure out how to fit it correctly and stuff. And then once you get that, it should be pretty easy. Okay. With the winter time, most of our clients, like 98% of our clients are here.
Okay.
I have this is 13,000 square feet, and then my training space is like 5,000 or 6,000 square feet. So plenty of space to do the recall exercises and stuff. Just bear in mind that when you do practice with him, you're going to be out practicing. You know, if you're training now, you'll be out at the park practicing in the winter time.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that. I can only take you as far as you're willing to go.
Right.
So if he needs 100 in order to come back on a recall and you're not willing to go to 100, then we're not going to get very far.
Yeah.
Right. So what holds people back the most is simply the level of the e-collar because they feel bad.
Yeah.
But we always start low when we work our way up. Norris here will tell us what's too little, what's too much. But just keep that in mind. Even though he seems like a lazy, sweet dog here, I know.
He didn't do anything.
Yeah. Even though he seems like a lazy, sweet guy here, his coat, whether or not what he's doing is more rewarding can determine where the level is at, okay? Everything's pretty straightforward. The exercises are fairly simple. It's just you have to, of course, practice in order to get the results.
Right.
Okay? Any other questions?
No, that's it. And then, can we start right away, or
So
is there a long period of time?
Depends on what your availability is.
Okay.
So my schedule's backwards. I'm evenings and weekends because most people are 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So if you have daytime availability, we can get you in much sooner. Okay, because not a lot of people are booking during the daytime.
Yeah.
If all you have are evenings and weekends, then Maria would fill you in on that. Because we did have a big influx of people come in for 2021.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So it all just depends on your availability. Maria would go over that with you, consider your schedule and stuff, and she'll tell you where she can fit you in.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other option would be if you wanted to start sooner than maybe our schedules don't line up. Is I have my other trainer Enrique who's starting to get his own clients, and he could he's more than able to help you with your case because this is pretty straightforward. This is just obedience stuff. Okay, so that's another option for you if you're trying to get started sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I have availability from 12 to 1 every day. Our work gives us an hour off because people complain that we were working too much. So I do have that. So if that's open, I would take that. But I do have that availability, but mostly it would be nights and weekends.
Sure, yeah. So let Maria know.
Okay.
And then she'll let you know what days we have that spot open.
Okay.
And then she can get you on the calendar.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't foresee any issues here, other than his really dense coat.
Yeah, I know.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, she'll get in contact with you.
Okay.
And then if you know you're good for whatever, I'm on 3 or on 6. If you turn around and just email her, she'll just make a note of it, put you in the queue, because you're the 3rd consultation for today. So she kind of just gets back to everybody in order, but it's first come, first serve. So if you turn around hey, sign me up, she just gets that process going. Okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right,
Norris,
sleepy boy.
ready to go?
We didn't even do anything, buddy.
I know.